Hi guys, happy Thursday. So, we're gonna go right into part 2 of Baphomet. So, what you guys think of the little bit of history, little lesson yesterday? Maybe, maybe not, no? Well, that's alright. So, the shocking true history of Baphomet, the Satanic goat. I like to say the word goat. So, literally, let's see. Alright, so this is just an article. This is ultraculture.org. This is pretty interesting information. So, alright, now on Baphomet, you've probably seen the image of Baphomet used in the stand as a stand-in for Satan, whether that's by a would-be Satanist or paranoid Christians. What you might not have learned, however, is Baphomet has nothing to do with evil or Satanism, as it is commonly understood. That's very true. So, and actually has a much more profound history. So here we will reveal the full history of the icon. Eliphas Levi, that is his image. That is his image, the Satanic goat with the upright pentagram on the forehead. So, alright, so the modern day Baphomet icon is commonly associated with the imagery of a goat-headed diabolical idol allegedly worshipped by the Knights Templar during the 13th and the 14th centuries, which we already know. So in reality, the connection between Baphomet and the primordial goat-headed god did not emerge until the 1850s. The historical origin of the term is perhaps more fascinating than the mythologized version. A tale of mistranslation, a courtroom conspiracy, and a gradual metamorphosis into a profoundly influential occult icon. Alright, so, the earliest of Baphomet. So the earliest known use of the word Baphomet comes from a letter written by a French crusader in 1090. Wow. He describes the crusaders' enemies in the Holy Land, calling upon Baphomet prior to battle. Another early chronicle of the Crusades refers to mosques as Baphomerias. Today, it is commonly accepted that Baphomet, similar to the Old French word Mahomet, refers to Muhammad, the prophet of Islam. So at that time, European Christian dogma viewed worship of Muhammad as idolatry. So whatever, The doctrinal Islamophobia was harnessed by a medieval European ruler in the form of a witch hunt targeting his political opponents. So Alright, now the Knights Templar arrested and the legend of Baphomet grows. Now, this is really weird. On October 13th, 1307, King Philip IV of France ordered the arrest of the Knights Templar in France. So over the previous 2 centuries of crusading, the Knights Templar had become one of the most powerful military orders in Europe. So during a war with the English, King Philip became heavily indebted to the Templars financially. So King Philip desired to erase his debt, but also feared that the Templars could pose a military threat if he did not pay. Instead, he had hundreds of Knights Templars suddenly arrested and accused of heresy. I would be terrified of what would happen to me back then. That would be something to, Alright, so being arrested as a heretic was particularly unpleasant in medieval France due to Inquisition-style torture techniques. Okay, I just found my answer to what would have happened to me. That's not fun. Oh my god, okay. Where'd I go? Okay, the punishment would continue until the prisoner confessed. I would never confess. So King Philip accused the Knights Templar of spitting and urinating on the cross, engaging in homosexuality. Oh my god, that's awful. And worshipping Baphomet as an idol. Baphomet, presumably a reference to Muhammad, was allegedly incorporated into the Templar practice during their time mingling with Islamic culture in the Middle East. So basically, King Philip was accusing the Knights Templar of having become Muslims. That's it. So, similar charges were leveled against the other political parties, opponents of King Philip IV, and also presumed to be fabricated. So, wild. It's wild what people do with back in those centuries that they did not know anything about. So, after a battery of unimaginable torture, many of the Templars invented confessions to end their suffering. Some admitted to worshiping an idol, though inconsistent accounts varied, from the severed head of John the Baptist to a cat statue with 3 faces. I don't understand that. So there was no reference, however, to a goat-headed icon throughout the trial. After escaping the Inquisitors' torture, most Templars recanted their confessions and were subsequently burned. Oh God, at the stake. There we go. That's what would happen to me too. Threatening military action, King Philip forced the papacy to disband the Templar order completely. Now Baphomet enters the 19th century. So this is really cool. So now over the next 500 years, think about it, 500 freaking years of the history of Baphomet. Think about it, 500 years. That's a long time. So, scholars and mystics alike speculated upon the variety of accusation leveled against the Templars. Now, a rich mythology arose, with tales linking the Templar order to ancient mystical wisdom and artifacts discovered during their campaigns in the Holy Land. So, the narrative construct of a group of individual venturing from Europe into the Middle East or North Africa and returning with magical ancient knowledge was a recurring theme in the Renaissance occult thought. So the same themes appear in a well-known grimoire such as the Book of Abram Ellen and Hermetic texts. So now in 1818, the term Baphomet re-emerged in an essay published in Vienna speculating upon the nature of the idol worship by the Knights Templar. The author, Joseph von Hammer Purgstall, claimed that the Templars were indeed idol worshippers, and that Baphomet refers to a hermaphroditic stone figure borrowed from Egypt. So it all came from Egypt, or the Gnostic Christian Ophites. Even at that time, scholars called out von Hammer Purgstall's essay as a pseudo-history and anti-Masonic rhetoric. So after the release of his essay, many European museums began to catalog Baphomet's small carved stone idols, which were either modern forgeries attributed to the Knights Templars or misidentified artifacts from other cultures. It's so much transformation of Baphomet throughout history, throughout time, literally, throughout time. Yeah, obviously, time, history, whatever, same thing. So yeah, I can kind of think of finding Baphomet in stone imagery. If you think of Sabrina, and in that mine, and you see the Baphomet statue, little hint. So, this is the final transformation of Baphomet. So, and it's funny that it's not used, it is, Baphomet is used in Satanism, but it was never intended to be that way. Never. And Levi, no. He had nothing about it. So, the final transformation of Baphomet. So, the final transformation of Baphomet occurred in 1854. French ceremonial magician Eliphas Levi reimagined Baphomet into a figure he named the Sabbatic Goat, representing the universe in the form of binary opposites. That's what Baphomet is. So, the Sabbatic Goat incorporates elements of the hermaphroditic stone Baphomets and the symbolic ideals of the Templar Baphomet myth. So he mingled these elements with occult, Kabbalistic, and Catholic imagery. So, though Levi began his career in the Catholic seminary, obviously everybody leaves it, he soon left to pursue romance and magic. He believed that the Sabbatic Goat served as a collective representation for all magical icons that survived the spread of Christianity from earlier polytheistic or animistic traditions. So, though the goat-headed Baphomet was not worshipped by the Knights Templar, the Sabbatic Goat references the Templar plight in the spirit of all forms of social oppression, justified by the dominant religious rhetoric of the time. So basically everything that was not wiped out by Christians and Catholics, Baphomet's idols. So, alright, now, where we go? Okay, so the most unique and iconic element of Levi's Baphomet is the head of a goat upon a humanoid body. The goat head was borrowed by Levi from the Egyptian goat-headed deity. Oh god, this one's Benjedet, who represented the soul of Osiris. So Levi was also inspired by Pan, another goat-headed god equated with primal worship and social taboos of the time. So the overall impression of the Sabbatic goat is very similar to that of the devil card from the Marcel Tarot, which may have been Levi's template. So the Latin words on the Sabbatic goat's arm are coagula and salve, mean join together and take apart. So these reference the powers claimed by church leaders to be taken from God by his earthly representatives. So in Levi's context, these terms represent the dualistic power of magic that can be realized by any devout initiated practitioner. So that is really interesting. That is really, really, really interesting. Gives you a whole different meaning and a whole different outlook on what Baphomet is. I love this. And Nick Scratch, that's just a nickname, Nicholas Scratch, yeah, what you gave me about the article about, it was like a paragraph from a book about Satanism, about how Baphomet was kind of linking to, it was a parallel. I drew a parallel between Kali and Baphomet. Pretty interesting. Very interesting. Alright, so now we have Aleister Crowley and Baphomet. So, Eliphas Levi's Baphomet was also adapted by Aleister Crowley, so most famously in his Gnostic Mass. So the deep symbolic nature of Baphomet fit well with Crowley's interpretations of Renaissance and medieval ritual magic. It also incorporated familiar elements of binary cosmology that supported Crowley's Hermetic ideology. Crowley described Baphomet as a divine androgynon, representative of mystical perfection through a union of opposites. So he also equated this union of opposites to that which occurs when a sperm and egg join. So this line of thought, triggered by his reflections upon Baphomet, was profoundly influential in Crowley's theories of sex magic. It's amazing. I love Baphomet. I do. It's amazing how it represents everything, the all, source, spirit, God, goddess, everything inclusive, all-inclusiveness. So, right now, Crowley also, connected ideas of suppressed knowledge and secret worship, thus Baphomet, with Satan. He argued that contrary to traditional Christian thought, Satan represented not the enemy of man, but he who made gods of our race, knowing good and evil. So he bade know thyself and taught initiation. He is the devil of the Book of Thoth, and his emblem is Baphomet, the androgynon, who is the hieroglyph of arcane perfection. He is therefore life and love. It's amazing. It is amazing what Baphomet really represents. I love it. So, let's see where we go. Here. Alright, now, Baphomet today. So today the Baphomet in the form of Eliphas Levi's Sabbatic goat is one of the most recognizable occult images in the world, with strong ties to artistic and popular culture. So that is why Baphomet is in pop culture big time, everywhere. So, it directly inspired the iconic devil card from the Rider-Waite Tarot system. The sigil of Baphomet, depicting the Sabbatic goat with an inverted pentagram, has been adopted as the modern Church of Satan's logo. Baphomet also made the news recently when members of the Satanic Temple attempted to have an 8-foot-tall Sabbatic goat statue erected beside the monument of the Ten Commandments at the Oklahoma State Capitol. So, I don't understand why they use Baphomet as, I don't get that, but whatever. It's not my business. So, with its long and deeply symbolic history, Baphomet is a powerful icon that garnishes fear and respect to this day. So Baphomet has been transformed by time and culture into a rich icon of modern occult heritage. It also serves as a poignant reminder of the dangers of state-sponsored, religiously justified oppression. So, alright, now I understand why they want Baphomet by the Ten Commandments. Makes sense. Alright, so, now here's just a bunch of different, little snippets from everywhere. And these are great. Alright, so if Baphomet is the god of magic, how do you start learning magic? So, it'll give you everything you need to get started. practicing real effective sorcery, the secret of Baphomet and the secret of the Templars. Enjoy it. So, and that is a guide to chaos magic. So, oh, that's it. So yeah, that is literally Baphomet. More on Baphomet. I love the imagery. I mean, it's just amazing, and you can find it everywhere. And this is actually by Daniel Appel. Thank you for this. ultraculture.org. So this is, I mean, amazing stuff. This is very amazing stuff. And there's so much more on Baphomet too. Baphomet's sacred herb is obviously marijuana. So, and I don't know to this day why my statue cried. It literally smelled like a very sweet strain of marijuana oil. It literally did. It was like honey and ylang ylang and a little bit of like a very sweet Mary Jane. So, and then we have this really interesting cover. So the image of Baphomet has graced everything from heavy metal albums to religious propaganda and tends to be used as a symbol of evil. Yet Baphomet is a far, far more complex symbol. So that's Baphomet right there, where they use it in heavy metal and all that good stuff. So I just, I think that's great, and I hope you guys do too. I love Baphomet. I do. It's amazing. Everything has been wonderful since I've started working with this entity, this all-encompassing, all-inclusive being. So it's just energies that's been given form. It's just like the Ace of Swords, for example, pure elemental energy before it's been given form. Baphomet was given form. I don't refer to Baphomet as he or she. It's a hermaphrodite. Literally, we can see it. So I'm just really, really wondering, what is Baphomet gonna be like in 10 years? 10 years ago, Baphomet was evil. I thought Baphomet was very evil. Well, no, I didn't. I've always liked the goat, so I don't know. It's just very interesting. So very interesting, especially with the different arms and of magic and the magician card. We have the same imagery, all of that. So, all right, guys. I get way too excited over this stuff. So, I hope you guys enjoy. So this is just part 2, Baphomet. Yeah. But alright, guys. I love you all. Everybody stay warm today. Or, wherever you're at, whatever. So, I love you all very much. With all of my heart. All the way from Venus. All the way back down. I hope you guys have a great full moon. And tomorrow's Friday the 13th. And I hope you guys have a great Friday the 13th. It's gonna be great. So, I love you all, and you all have a great day. And thank you guys for everything that you're doing, your comments, everything. Don't think I don't see them, because I do. And I love them. And I love you guys. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.